In this video I show you how I make texture with inexpensive clay and some eggshells. I have made an ebook with all my favorite techniques. You can download it and print it, and here you see an example. You can find the link of the ebook in the description below this video. But let's start with the materials. Clay and a facette lock for the crackle. Some eggshells, they make lovely texture, and my favorite colors from NUVO sparkle spray. Just a little peek in the book with all my favorite techniques, and all about texture, of course, and colors. Let me know in the comments if you have any question. But let's start with the painting and, of course, the texture. We start making texture with the clay. Just put it down on the journal and push it in all directions that you want. Make sure your clay has made contact with your journal. You can see I make a lot of texture by pushing the clay and push my fingers in the clay. You can also build up layers with the clay to make more texture. When you're done, you paint a layer with gesso. Now it's time to play with the eggshells. Break them down on some kitchen paper. Put some thing on top of it and take a roller pin and break down the eggshells in little pieces. And repeat it till you are satisfied how they look. You can see I make them very small. Now the texture and the gesso is dry, we're gonna glue down the eggshells with easy coat mat. But you can use any glue you want, of course, but I will use a transparent glue. Just let the eggshells fall down, and when there's glue, they're gonna stick. For me, I always want some crackle in my art, so I'm gonna use the Facettelac from Viva Decor. And it's a paste white, but it then dries transparent. Let everything dry very well before you start coloring. Before I start with color, I'm gonna protect the pages in the journal with some plastic. Also because I use sprays and I use also a lot of water. I start with high fluid from Golden, but that's not necessary. If you use the sparkle spray from NUVO, it's not necessary to use the Golden high fluid in it. From this point I stopped using the high fluid and go further with the NUVO sparkle spray. Sometimes I use a little brush, but most of the time I just spray and spray water. You can use a hairdryer to dry it in between. When the hairdryer is doing his work, I'm gonna ask you please subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of videos. When you use the blues and the greens, you always end up with an harmonious color palette. And of course, at the end, I will always end with a layer of gesso. This way I lighten up the higher parts of my texture and it creates more depth in my painting. In the ebook I show you an example of this painting without last layer of gesso and with a layer of gesso, and you can then clearly see the difference. Now the book is finished and I'm very happy with the end result, and I love also the shiny look of the book. I did not mention yet that the ebook is also in English and in Dutch. Here I show you how I put the prints in the book. I've cut down it a little bit smaller because I have that's easier to glue down, but that's not necessary, of course. That's your own choice, but here you see how I do it. In the book you find a lot of ways to make texture, color, and of course a decoupage. And I also have some examples of using something different, like foams, like construction foams and flexible foams, and a lot of different ways to make crackles. Well, that's the end of today, and I hope to see you next time.